At Lowe's, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, install, and more when you spend $2,500 on select major appliances. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Visit your nearby Lowe's on East 17th Avenue in Hutchinson.
You are listening to the Primal Potential Podcast, but this is not just any episode. This is the Consistency Vault, a 10-part series built around the one specific skill that you can apply to any goal, and that is consistency. Most of us focus on all these different action items, whether that is eating better, getting up earlier, working out more, spending less, making more time for our friends or our loved ones, being a better steward of our home. But when we struggle to stick with those things over time, that's not an indictment. It's information. And the information that is giving to us is that we lack the skill of consistency, or it needs to be built in a stronger way. And the good news is we can build that skill in the same way we can build any other skill, like playing the piano. When you have the skill of consistency, you can apply it to any goal. It becomes the framework that you can plug any priority or pursuit into, whether that is your health, relationships, finances, business, parenting. If you keep starting and stopping over and over, going into year after year or month after month or week after week with a goal that you just can't seem to nail, that's information. And this series, this 10-part series, is designed to help you build that skill deliberately with simple, practical tools you can start using right now. And at the end of this 10-episode series, I'm going to have a companion workbook available if you want to take this deeper. And here's the thing. Some of you might be listening and thinking, the last thing I need is more information. If that's you, maybe what you need is support and accountability and a process that you can plug into. That is what we do inside the consistency course. You'll find a link to that in the show description. One of my favorite parts of the week of the consistency course is the weekly personal check-ins, where you share every week what you're doing, what's working, what's not, and you get feedback directly from me. There is a proven framework to plug into and tons of tools, including an exclusive daily podcast Monday through Friday, to help you turn this skill into a daily practice. You'll hear more about that later, but for now, let's get into the Consistency Vault 10-episode series. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Primal Potential Podcast. I am Elizabeth Benton, and this is episode 2 of the Consistency Vault. This is a 10-part series designed to help you stop restarting so that 2026 is a real year of lasting change, not going into another year or another quarter with the same goals as the last time. Now, in episode 1, I don't want you to skip that, we broke down the difference between consistency and compliance and how confusing those two can cost you years of progress or keep you from ever arriving at your goal to begin with. And today we're going to continue that conversation by diving into another crucial shift. And that is the fact that consistency is a dial. It is not a switch. If you've ever felt like you were on the wagon one day and off it the next, or even moment by moment, if you've ever felt like your best intentions collapse as soon as something disrupts your routine, whether it's a headache, a bad mood, a busy day, or a flat tire, you're thinking in switch mode and it's really messing you up. So today I want to help you flip that switch for good. Let's break this down clearly. When you treat consistency like a switch, life is gonna keep flipping it. Seriously, when you treat consistency like it's a switch on off, life will guaranteed keep flipping it, and life will flip it a lot. Whether that is because your kids are sick or you're sick or you're stressed or it's a holiday or it's a special occasion, this is what the switch mindset often looks like. I'm either on or I'm off. I did it perfectly or I totally blew it. I'm on the wagon or I'm off. I'm starting again on Monday. The switch is binary, right? It's pass, fail. It's all or nothing. And if I see one phrase in my email inbox more than anything else, it's all or nothing. So many people are like, I'm such an all or nothing person. Guess what that means? You are treating consistency like it is a switch, but it is not. It is a dial. Okay, here's the first change I want you to make to your thinking. Consistency is not about staying on. It's about staying in. It's not about staying on, it's about staying in. And this is where the dial comes in, right? The dial is not about perfection. It's about participation. Staying in the game, even if you need to turn the intensity down, right? Switch thinking turns real life into a trap, like a test that you've got to pass. But dial thinking turns real life into an opportunity. One of the things that I think I shared with you guys on the other episode, maybe I didn't, I don't know where I said this, but as I'm recording this, I've got a little bit of a GI bug going around my house. And if I were in switch mode, it would be like, forget the workout, everything's off, lay on the couch, eat saltines, start again when I feel better. But what I've learned about consistency is that I don't have to force what was the plan. I need to always be adjusting to what is possible now. So I skip the sauna, and maybe I'm skipping the high protein elaborate dinner, and I'm going to go for a simple clean chicken soup, but I can still go for a walk. I can still do a mobility and durability protocol from Strong Foundations, right? Because consistency isn't broken by a bad day. It's built in how you respond to one. Compliance might be broken by a bad day, but consistency isn't broken by a bad day. It's built in how you respond to one. And maybe it's not even a bad day. It's just a busy day or a hard day or a stressful day or a celebratory day. Consistency isn't broken by that. It's built in how you respond to that. All right. One of the biggest traps I see in people who are treating it like a switch instead of like a dial, folks are chasing intensity and calling it consistency, right? They start strong, they go all in. Intensity burns hot and fast, but that's not the same as consistency, right? You can't build a lifestyle on intensity because bonfires burn out. But you can build something lasting with consistency, not with intensity. When I'm sick or low energy or it's a special occasion, I can turn the intensity dial down, but I don't have to turn the consistency dial down. I can still eat aligned. I can still move my body, but I don't have to white knuckle a max effort workout or choke down salmon because it was on the plan when my body wants something simpler. Okay? Intensity might get attention, but consistency gets results. So how many times are we kind of like, oh, here's a great example. My husband, we'll probably talk more about this in a few minutes. My husband informed me a few weeks ago that he wants to do a carnivore diet. God bless him. He wants to lose some weight. That's how he's going to do it. That often gets attention, that intense effort, like, oh, wow, why are you doing that? That's intense. Or somebody does 75 hard, or somebody's training for a marathon. The intensity gets attention, but consistency gets results. And I'm not saying that my husband isn't going to get results, but I bet you anything, and I told him this, and he would probably agree with me. When you stop doing that intense approach, more often than not, you don't keep the results, right? I see this in business all the time too. Intensity gets attention, but consistency gets results. And we don't have to have this on-off approach. Like sometimes, yeah, we're in full-on build mode, planning, creating, executing. But other times we can scale down the intensity while keeping the consistency. Intensity can spark change. I'm not saying intensity is bad, but only consistency sustains it. And by definition, intensity is not sustainable, right? Consistency is, but let's talk about like what consistency or what intensity actually is. Intensity is a short burst of maximal or near maximal effort. So if I wanted to do a high intensity workout on my erg rower that I have here in my office, by definition, that would not be sustainable. You cannot sustain maximal or near maximal effort that comes with intensity. And yet, especially at the beginning of the year, We want those things that get attention. And maybe it's getting our attention because it promises faster results. But what's the faster result worth if you can't sustain it? Part of this shift away from the sexy intensity approach that gets attention instead of the maybe slower burn, lasting, sustainable approach of consistency is that we have to be able to spot yellow flags before they turn red. We all have these yellow flags. And I mentioned to you, my husband saying, hey, honey, I'm going to do carnivore. I want to lose some weight. A yellow flag for me is, maybe I should do that too. I bet I would lose weight really fast doing that. It's not necessarily a problem, but it is a yellow flag. It's a yellow flag because if I'm doing that for fast weight loss, but I don't intend to eat carnivore forever, then I'm probably not going to maintain those results forever. And so we have to get good at recognizing the yellow flags in our behaviors and in our thoughts and in our habits and our patterns before they turn red. And that's not to say, in this example, that I would never do carnivore. I actually have, and it was very specifically to see if it made any difference in my anxiety. I think that was about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, maybe less than that. And there's nothing wrong with that approach to say, hey, is this going to help? But when I'm thinking, hey, maybe I'll lose weight really fast, that's like, nope, we're not doing that because I want something that is sustainable over the long term, right? Red flags blow up your progress, but here's the thing, yellow flags warn you first. They warn you first if you're willing to listen. And spotting a yellow flag doesn't mean you failed. It means that now you have a choice, right? Adjusting instead of totally abdicating, turning the dial instead of flipping the switch. See, it's not like, should I do carnivore? My husband's doing carnivore. I bet I would lose weight fast on carnivore. Hey, if I think there's something to this for my health or my anxiety or my weight loss, is there a way that I can do it that is sustainable? Because for me, eating just meat isn't sustainable for me. By desire or by choice or by lifestyle. I don't want my kids to never see their parents eat vegetables or fruit or ice cream for that matter. So here's what we need to really lean into. Consistency is not a switch. In what ways are you treating it like it's a switch? Hey, when was the last time that you said, I'm off, I'll get back to this. I'll start again on Monday, or I already blew it. When was the last time that this switch mentality showed up for you? In what area of your life? And then what would it look like for it to be more of a dial? Maybe for you, it's that because you had a headache, you just said, I'm not going to work out. When what you could have done is say, I'm going to do a mobility protocol or a durability protocol, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to do some yoga. Or I'm going to do some strength training, but I'm not going to do the cardio that I was going to do that I think might make my headache worse. Maybe it was, we weren't planning on going out to dinner tonight. And so since we're out to dinner, I might as well get the heavy pasta dish because, it's a special occasion. Maybe if it's a dial, you can have a few bites of somebody else's pasta dish, but for you, you're going to get the fish and veggies. Because your weight loss goal doesn't have to be turned off because you're at a restaurant. Maybe there's a way to have it be more of dial-like behavior than switch-like behavior. Because again, when you treat consistency like a switch, life is going to keep flipping it. We can expect that we're going to get stuck in traffic, or we're going to forget to take the meat out of the freezer, or we're going to wake up with a headache, or the kids are going to be up all night. And if you allow life to keep turning off consistency, it was never consistency to begin with, right? Consistency is not about staying on. It's about staying in. When I'm talking to my clients in the consistency course, I tell them that the primary goal is not perfection. It's not intensity. The primary goal is consistent action. We're staying in the game. We're never going all the way out. We're still engaged. Even if we're turning down the intensity dramatically, we're still doing something, because something is better than nothing every single time. And the small thing you can do, or the small thing you will do, trumps the big thing that you keep putting off or letting yourself off the hook around every single time. Consistency isn't about staying on. You're not always going to be fired up. You're not always going to be motivated. It's about staying in, right? We never go all the way out. This is your opportunity, because if it's a switch for you, real life becomes a trap. Like, consistency just got turned off again. Now it's this, now it's that. And one thing I hear from my clients all the time is like, I was doing really good and then this happened. I was on a great path and then that happened. Everything was fine until this situation arose and now I can't find my way back to it. Hey, that's because you are treating consistency like a switch when it's a dial. Dial thinking turns real life into an opportunity. Guys, this is where I want to wrap it up for today. And we still have 8 episodes left in this series. Consistency cannot be broken by a bad day, because consistency is built in how you respond to one. Compliance can be broken by a bad day. And I want to emphasize again, I know I said this a few minutes ago, it might not be a bad day. It might be a celebratory day. Might be a weekend day. Might be a stressful or an overwhelming or a sad day, but consistency, true consistency, can't break it because it's built in how you respond to it. Look, the last thing I want to say is, if you're like, yeah, that's my opportunity, how I respond to real life, yeah, that's my opportunity to learn what it looks like to live this dial approach and get out of this switch approach. Number one, you can keep listening to this series, because we're going to continue to give you tools for that. But if you're like, I don't need another podcast, I need to actually do this, workshop this, have support and accountability, the consistency course is great for that. And I'm going to drop in the show description the link for it. If you've got questions or want to talk more about it, email me, elizabeth@primalpotential.com. Don't message me on Instagram. I'm presently off of Instagram, but you can email me, elizabeth@primalpotential.com, and check out the links in the show description. Episode 3 of The Vault is coming up next. Make sure to tune in for it. If you're finding this series helpful, a couple quick reminders. I would love it if you would rate and review the show. It makes a huge difference, especially because the landscape of podcasts just gets more and more and more crowded. If you would take just a minute, if you're enjoying and finding this helpful, leave a rating and review of the show on whatever platform you listen, and share this with a friend. Go through this series with a coworker or a friend or a family member. Get them in the conversation with you. Maybe you guys can talk about the episodes together and game plan your action steps together. But I would love for you to share this if it is helpful. And I will see you on the next installment. Oh, one last thing. At the end of this series, I'm going to have a companion workbook for you. If that is something you're interested in, keep listening. See you on the next episode. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. And a couple of things that I would say, if you have questions about anything that we're diving into in this 10-episode series, email me, elizabeth@primalpotential.com. I would love to hear from you. I answer every email personally and directly. And if this episode helped you, share it. This would be a great series to go through with a friend, a colleague, a loved one. Challenge each other, support each other, treat it almost like a book club. What a fun way to start the year. New episodes of The Vault drop every Monday and Saturday, so make sure that you're subscribed to the show or following so you don't miss what's next. And lastly, if you would leave a rating or review of this show, that would help me a ton. It's free. It only takes a minute, but it really moves the needle in terms of the impact, reach, and visibility of this show. So if this has been helpful to you, if you enjoy this content and you could take a minute to leave a rating and or a review, it would mean the world to me, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.